I'm an earthworm woman. In the mornings, I fill my tanks by breathing the energy of the sea and tasting the power of the sun penetrating my skin. There's an air of no care, which comes with age, and I hold my head up proudly, liking who I've become. I'm not afraid of smells, or dirt, or to walk barefoot across the stones. Sometimes I wade through the shallow water just to embrace its fluid element, my hair often crazy and loose, being pulled by and flying in the wind. I can be glamorous if I want to, although makeup was never my thing. And I've learnt that life is for living, not fearing, and so I absorb it like a sponge. Grand rising, everyone, on this Monday morning. I can see that Rumble's decided to not work today, so don't go to Rumble. This you can find on my Earthworm Woman page. You can find it on Rahana Hayes, Michael Gray Griffith interviews, etc., etc. Anyway, now, first of all, please ignore the title, How to Not Die Alone bit, because that's sort of not really anything to do with what we're talking about, because people do, and it's not a put down, or it's not anything. It I think it was a podcast, and I picked up those words from something else. I've got a fantastic guest on soon. I'm really excited about talking to her. But before that, usually I do these things really fast at the end. I'm going to do it slowly, but this is not a proper ad, okay? Just so you know, I'm making an ad for Madalena and her intimate duet products and site with my son. So I just want to show you some of these. You can't even see properly, actually. This is a lovely green bottle. Some of the beautiful products that she has, and I just absolutely, the smell is exquisite, and you almost want to eat it. It's really thick, luscious. That's probably not for your face, but anyway, I can't remember what that's for. Body butter. Oh, that's part of my body. Yeah. So beautiful products. I'll put her email up later if you want to email her about buying any. We're going to be getting that ad soon, and so you'll have more details. But anyway, so today I have Jane Roeder. I should ask if that's how you pronounce it. And she's a holistic sex and relationship counsellor. And I'm going to bring you in. And I got, hi there, Jane. Is it Roeder? Roeder or Roeder?
Roeder.
Roeder, yeah, like the American Roeder show, but not.
It's actually a German name. It's actually a German name.
Okay.
Yes, I am a divorced woman. It's still my ex-husband's name. So
okay.
I've kept that name.
Sometimes if it's a good one, it's nice. Yeah. So what was I going to say? So I came across you through another friend, Jane, who has an incredible story, who I keep meeting. I've met around St Kilda, and hopefully one day I'll be able to get her on. But she said, you've got to talk to Jane Roeder, because she's fantastic. I guess inspiring human, which is what Earthworm Woman's all about, inspiring people who do interesting things, who are interested in people. I had to do this self-test at the weekend, self-tape, and part of it was I had to say what am I interested, what are my interests, like play tennis, which I don't, whatever, things like that. I thought, well, you know what? One of my biggest interests is actually people and humans and all kinds of things, connected to them, which seems to be something, obviously, that you're passionate about. Yeah,
absolutely.
And I've written down a couple of your quotes, and I'll read something from your. Actually, before we start, I'll just read it now because this is sort of connected to you, I'd say. Obviously, my phone's so difficult to get into. So as human beings, happy, meaningful careers and relationships ground us and make us feel whole. But for this to happen, we must first understand ourselves and the universal laws that are at play in our lives. And so that's all about finding ourselves. And I think that's where a lot of us are going. Yeah. I'll let you speak.
Yes, absolutely. Thank you for having me, Rohana. And I just want to say hello to everybody out there, and it's a pleasure to be here. So
I'll start putting their comments across. Sorry.
They
are there.
Yes. So first of all, I want to say I consider myself a wise woman rather than an expert. And I guess what is wisdom? It's where, for me, is where knowledge and understanding is actually actioned and lived. So I like to think I walk my talk. I'm constantly being challenged to walk my talk, and the work that I do with my clients. I also go out educating people and do workshops and some speaking.
Yeah, just going back to that first thing you said there, because I think that's something I'm really finally getting into, really feeling like if I'm not being truthful, if I'm not really in my own self all the time, well, I'm not really living my life properly. I'm not living the truth, and I think
Yes. And I see that even that clip at the start, it's very much about authenticity. And I think that's the thing. It's like, who am I really? So a lot of my studies have been, that's the question, isn't it? It's like, well, who am I really?
Yes.
But you've got to discover who you're not to find out who you are.
Oh, absolutely. Yes.
In a lot of ways. And that's a lot of study that I've done has been ontology, which is the study. Have you heard of ontology?
No, I haven't.
It's the study of being.
Okay.
So we're human. I've done a lot of different trainings outside the square trainings, but I've done a lot of work around ontology.
Wow, that's really the study of being. Yeah. Sorry, I'm not meaning to butt in. Sometimes it's just number one, there's a little overlap, but also I just love when I hear something.
No, all good. And I'll just go on and on and on, so please.
Well, I mean, absolutely. So I was going to just take you back to number one, you just said you're divorced, but when did you start moving in this direction of being a relationship and around sex and sexual health or whatever? When was that? I shouldn't say that low. Sex and sexual.
Interesting. I think I was definitely born an old soul and a questioning soul, which was why? As a little girl, I used to ask why, go to Sunday school, but I don't think Jesus would have thought that, or what's a pain in the ass, actually. But so I was always a why person, but I think the interesting thing was, even as a young girl, I was really fascinated about sexuality. And I was intrigued by it. I shouldn't say this, but I used to hear my mum and dad having sex, like a lot of us did. Right?
Probably most kids
and I know
do.
some children go, oh, yuck, and they get scared by it. But I was actually really intrigued and thought, oh, that must be nice and all that. So I used to sort of search out all these books and different things at a really young age, to find out information. But I was also really aware of something deep in my soul. I think I came in from a past life with it, that sex was something that was very sacred, and it was that it would be very easily to misuse and to abuse. And growing up,
How old do you think you were when you thought about that?
14, 15.
Right. Yeah.
Yes. And I was very aware of my hormones taking off, and I was, boys liked me. I had a lot of boyfriends, but I never ever went the whole way with them. Right? Not that I met my husband when I was really young, 18.
Yep. Right.
Yes, but before that, I had a lot of boyfriends, but I was, even with him, it took me a while to have sex with him, even though I had a very high sex drive, because I wanted to make sure that he was the man that I wanted to share that with, which is and that was in the middle of, that was in the middle of the sexual revolution, right? Like, I was right in it. I was in the feminist movement.
Yeah.
Just forgive me right now. I'm part of the feminist movement back then, but I was still, and the people around me were sleeping around and exploring it. There's something in me that was like I had a wisdom around the sacredness of sex back then. And
that's interesting.
And then I was married, and
you had a sneer on your face when you said that.
23 years.
Yeah.
And I guess during my marriage, I wanted to explore Tantra, because I learned about, through documentaries and different things I'd learned about, how sex can be taken to another level. That was back a long time ago.
Mm-hmm.
And I used to say that to my husband, And he was a good man. He was very loyal. He was tall, dark, handsome. And, when I used to say that to him, he used to say to me, well, who's got time to do that? He'd ask me what it was, and who's got time to do that? And I was on this growth trajectory of sexuality, but also around spirituality, and he wasn't, we're sort of parting ways. And also, I was learning a lot of stuff. I'd been sick when I was 28. I had a nervous breakdown. I don't call it now.
Were you with him then? Just out of interest? No.
Yes, it was after my first child. Luckily, I had a wonderful husband who took care of me, and my mum and my mother-in-law. I could hardly do the housework. But I was wise enough even then. There was a lot of external things. I'd had a difficult birth. There was a lot of external things going on in my life that most people would have crashed. But even then, I was wise enough to think, well, I wouldn't go on. I was on medication for about 2 weeks, and I was like, no, that's the Band-Aid. I wanted to look at what was it about me that caused me to crash. That's pretty wise if you think about it.
Absolutely.
That I was the problem.
Instead of just thinking of the obvious things, that it's perhaps the birth or it's this and that.
Yeah. And I acknowledged they were stress factors, but I thought there's something about me that my body's crashed, right? So I healed myself through, that was when I learned about, have you heard of the book Your Erroneous Zones by Wayne Dyer?
No, I'll be writing these books down.
He was really early on in the personal development movement. And I think he was a psychiatrist at the time or whatever. This was before he got heavily into the spiritual aspect as well. But
I'll just stop you for 2 seconds. I won't interrupt. But there we go. See, I haven't read a lot of those books because I don't think I have done some self-development in that way. I have done, different things, but this is where I'm really realizing now these last few years how to just be yourself and how to actually work on yourself, I guess, which is almost do nothing. You just actually have to live to the truth.
Yes,
Sorry, I get my
yes, and that's an interesting thing, isn't it? What is the truth, right?
yeah.
What is it?
But
What
anyway,
is?
carry on. Sorry.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
yeah, you were.
So, and what I got to see was I was, I could see all my mental patterns were from my mum. You know, I was worrying about everything. You know, worry, 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 worry. You know, when I had my baby, I was worried my baby was going to have cot death. I was worried, you know, I'd be up and worried and but I was sick for a long time. But I learned meditate, like relaxation meditation. You know, where you squeeze your muscles and relax, squeeze all the muscles in your body and relax. And I read that book and I totally saw my unconscious mind and the rubbish, absolute rubbish that was in my head that was actually the stuff that I didn't like about my mum, her behaviours, and how she, you know, it's amazing how we, isn't it? Amazing how we.
I'm just a little bit like, I'm kind of relating to a few things you're saying. One was way back when you talked about sleeping with people but not having. I did the same thing for a long time, because mine is a different one though, because my parents were Muslim. They became Muslims, and I had it sort of stuck in my brain that, you know, no, we can't go there, and it's this is that, and so I would have a big sexual appetite, same thing, or whatever the words. That doesn't sound right, anything, you know, sexuality, but I would say, that's, you know, stop there. And I think it's really screwed up. But at the same time, I guess there's something in me thought, I'm going to wait for someone who I really feel good about, you know, sacred something.
Yeah, yes. And Ruana, really, if we think about it, all we're going back to that, but all religions. I mean, I don't believe in religion. I believe in God.
Don't worry, I'm Jewish, and my parents became Muslims. So
yes,
yeah.
I believe in God, and I actually believe Jesus was an incredibly wise prophet, and there's so much teaching there that we can learn from. And there's other wise, you know, Buddha and different people that we can live by. But if you think about, though, all wisdom, all the wise teachers, a lot of it was about honoring your sexuality and having boundaries around our sexuality. Like, even, you know, I went to this, I was at Confest or somewhere I went to years ago, and I went and did a meditation with this guy, and he was from Tonga or somewhere.
Yeah,
that's a long time ago. And there was something that he said before or after that meditation that we did, and I stayed behind. And because at Confest, you know, people sleep around, not everybody, but there's a tendency
free
to
love
be,
and all that. Yeah,
right. And that's okay. So, you know, and there's no way known I was going to do that, but it was like, I went to him and I said, what do you think about casual sex? I asked him the question, right? And he said,
not you forgot to say having. No.
Yeah, and he said, you know the answer. That's why you've asked me that question. And he said, even in my culture, I came from, I think it was Tonga. It's a long time ago. But he said, even around in our culture, you can marry two partners, have two wives, two husbands. I might have the wrong place, but it was something, right?
Yeah.
You can. He said most people don't, but you can. He said, but even with that, there is a boundary. You don't go outside of that.
Yeah.
There's always boundaries around sexuality. So because
it's kind of a version of polyamory, but not. It's only
well,
two.
Yeah.
Is it
But
two at
it's
a time? Can you have, two now?
but it's a marriage, though. It's more of a
Okay.
marriage,
Yeah.
right? It's a marriage.
Mm.
And he said, what I do know, Jane, is it's psychically dangerous. He said, I've had 3 marriages. He said, but I've never had sex in between those because from my knowledge and understanding and what I know, it's psychically dangerous to be sleeping with other people, right? It's actually, and it sounds really controlling, but it's actually for the protection of the soul. Another a lady I know who's a psychic, she always said to me that she could see in people's auras, like for men, if they're watching a lot of pornography or got holes in their aura, or people who have a lot of partners, that there's actually holes in their aura.
I could understand that, yeah.
Yeah, it's really interesting, isn't it? So it's bigger than we've been led to. I think this agenda too that's going on in the world is it's the destruction of the self in a way.
I'll just say, how many years ago? I don't know, 5, 7 years ago or something. When I was with Michael, we decided to what he called polyamory. It wasn't polyamory though; it was actually being open, and I didn't like it. It destroyed anything that we might have had to me, because the trust was gone. I felt there was jealousy, and I just, even if it was something for fun to whatever, it just didn't work for me. Maybe it does, and I know that. So even leading into what you're saying there, I actually think it's quite a common thing at the moment. I think a lot of younger people, that sort of non-committal thing, and there's a lot of people consider themselves polyamory, I think.
I have couples that will come to me that have done that, exactly like what you've said. They're married. They're married, and their sex life hasn't been going very well, so they decide they're going to do it, and it blows up like a nuclear bomb.
Yeah, totally.
Most of the time.
I would never recommend it after 20, whatever it was then, 18 years or whatever we'd been together, or heading for 20. I would never recommend that.
No, and I don't. I warn people against that. And having said that, though, occasionally people are capable of doing it. But I think, the key is, what are we searching for?
Yeah.
It's like we're not just a physical body. We have emotions, we have a soul. So, to just be working with the body, we end up on the lower frequency level.
Yes. Well, if you believe in that, and I'm with you, I do actually really. Yes.
There's more suffering because we're just working with the body. Anything that we just care about the body, it's lower frequency. Because if you think about, sex work, I'm not degrading any of this or putting it down, but like hookups, porn, sex workers, well, rape's a form of that. Pedophilia, it's all, ends up leading to suffering. People can get away with it for a while, but it's prostitution of the soul, if you think about it, because we have to shut down the heart to have. It's very hard to open your heart up to have a hookup. Some people say they can, but I don't believe.
It's not the heart. It's lust, or it's
you might care about somebody. You care about them or whatever. In a way, you're going to be caring, but it's like our sexual energy is meant to come up. Come up this way. So, and then we come up from the bottom chakras up to the, or most people are having sex even in marriages at on the lower chakras, whether you believe in the chakras, lower energy levels. And rather than bringing it up to the heart and then bringing it up to the crown chakra, where people can have a spiritual orgasm. And
well, that's probably connected with the tantra bit as well, isn't it? Tantra, yeah, I mean,
absolutely. But sexual energy is not just about sex. It's our life force. It's our creativity. It's working with our purpose. It's far more than that, and it can be used in a positive way or it can be used in a negative way. And that's what we're not taught. And
can I ask?
Yeah, go on.
I'm just going to ask you a question around, like, in your experience. Obviously, you've been doing this counselling and therapy with people for a while now. Yeah.
It's the latter part of my life. I changed careers. I was originally a teacher, and I did interior decorating for a while and worked in fitness for a while too.
Okay. Yeah.
So, but it was when my marriage broke up. I went into the who am I question, and what was it about me that made my marriage break up, and why I decided to leave my marriage. And that was what got me going. And I went out there and I saw all these people that hated their exes and were fighting with their ex, and I'm thinking, it's not that hard. Divorce isn't hard. The people are the problem. Divorce isn't the problem. The people are the problem. Marriage isn't the problem. The people are the problem, right? Yeah, anyway, go on.
Yeah. Oh, no, I was just going to ask you what are the most common problems and issues that you find?
An inability to deal with conflict. And people, as you know, the hard thing in relationships is not to lose ourselves.
Yeah.
It's a tricky one.
Guilty.
And women tend to do that more as well, because we're the nurturers and we're more agreeable. We tend to be more agreeable.
Morning, Gary. Well, yes, I am. That's what I'm saying. I'm guilty of that, and that's one thing that I'm guilty. Victoria's guilty. Anybody else guilty here of losing those? Come on, put your hands up, please. It's, I don't know if it's a character trait or if it's, like you say, women more listen while you work, or you can whistle too while you work.
I think we're naturally born that way. I think it's in our evolutionary DNA, because we're nurturers, we're mothers, we have babies, and
we're spread out more,
and we give our heart. We are more about relationships and the heart more. The men are more about providing, in the external world, and not so much concentrated on relationships, even though they're totally important to them.
I mean, that's Kim Black, not guilty. Okay, good on you, Kim. I know Kim's fantastic. Strong warrior woman. That's what we were saying there. Not always though. So obviously sometimes it's not the conventional thing of the man's out to work, blah, 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 blah. Both might be working and trying to do other things at the same time, but it is also a personality trait as well, Profs.
Well, the masculine energy is more directional and external. That's what masculine energy is. It's like when we're in our masculine, as a woman, in our masculine energy, it's like we're out, we're doing, we're going to work or whatever. We're in our masculine energy, right? So because men in their evolutionary DNA is very much about the protector, provider, is in their evolutionary DNA, that's the masculine energy.
So that's like you say, losing themselves. And you said the first thing you said was what did you say? Was it about communication, or the first thing you said was the biggest problem was I can't remember what you said now.
Oh, I'm just looking at the comment there. Sex
Oh,
is
yeah,
number
okay.
one
Sex
need for
is number one
males.
need for males. Security is no need for
Number
females.
one.
Oh, number one.
Might be number one need.
Security.
Yes.
That's
And
interesting.
it's interesting, isn't it? It is true that I don't know. There are men that have very low sex drives, like there are women.
Yep.
So
Jason
love
disagrees.
is important to men. Absolutely, love is important to everybody.
When they're disregarded as a provider, they lose
human
themselves.
need. Yeah, love is a human need. Absolutely.
Yeah. Well, there's lots of variations on all of this, of course. Yeah. Good morning, Lynn. Yeah, no, the first thing you said was being the biggest problem was it wasn't communication. You said it was about
conflict, how to deal with conflict. And there are four killers in relationship. The Gottmans have done studies on this in their lab. They've done the most extensive studies in the world on what are the killers when we communicate in relationships.
Yeah.
And do you know what they are, Rohana?
No. Well, let me have a think. Hang on a second. The way we communicate. Is it about listening?
Yeah, well, that's involved in it. So definitely our ability to listen. So defensiveness is one. So when somebody wants to share about something that's going on, most people will say but. We're sort of trained to say but through our families often.
Mm-hmm. So defensiveness, definitely.
And rather
when you're
than
defensive though on that one, you're probably not listening. You're probably not hearing because you've got such a
you're ready to rebut it, right?
Yeah, and your own agenda. Yeah.
That's right. Rather than listening and saying, oh, that's interesting, tell me more, or what I'm hearing is the opposite of that.
Yeah.
Then we have criticism, where people use the word you. We tend to automatically do that because that's how we've been brought up by our parents.
Blaming. Yeah.
You know, that's a societal thing. Very, very few of us have had parents that were able to deal with conflict really well. So we've just followed the patterns of the parental patterns. So instead of saying you, what do we say? We say I feel or whatever rather than you. So there's different ways to work with criticism. Then the next one is contempt. Contempt is when we're really nasty to somebody, our partner, and we undermine them and we'll call them really nasty names. And that can be done in private and in public.
I mean, that's such a surface thing because it's got so much behind it. What's behind it?
It's the anger. It's usually coming out of anger and hurt. Yeah. So,
because they say sticks or stones may break my bones, but names can never hurt me. But they can hurt. But what are they actually saying? It's the hurt.
We need to be aware of the impact of our words, because sometimes when we say something, it's hard to take it back, right?
Yep. Yeah.
And it's never forgotten. So, and what triggers us is our work. What triggers us is our work. So, but it's up to us how we're going to respond. No matter what somebody says to us, we're responsible for how we respond. So if somebody's really nasty, you can say, well, are you saying this? You can repeat it back to you. Are you saying that I'm that? Or you can also say, hey, that doesn't work for me. Can you say that in a nicer way?
See, I'm a little bit with Sue here, with the contempt. Once that it enters a relationship, that's to me that's like an avalanche ready behind you. You're just saying one tiny thing here, the person. What you really mean is all that stuff behind. So if one thing's coming, then all of that's going to eventually come. Yeah,
they're killer. It's a killer. And all 4 of these have been found to be killers, and within 7 years a relationship will be over if any of these are in relationships. But the contempt is a really bad one. The other one is stonewalling. So when you shut somebody down, right? And sometimes when we're really triggered and angry, we might need to say, hey, I'm feeling really triggered at the moment or really upset. I just need to go for a walk. But we have to give a time when we're going to come back. Say, look, let's talk about this later after we calm down a bit. The dog.
Sorry, Olive. Shush.
Let's talk about this later when we've calmed down. So one of the problems with stonewalling is that men tend to do this more than women. I'm generalizing, but men tend to do this more than women because they'll tend to leave a situation, and the woman's yap, and she goes chasing after him, and you never listen to me, and you always leave, and all that.
Yeah,
you always leave, and that drives a man mad, and it makes him want to leave even more, right? But if the man can say, look, I'm not, let's talk about this later, or even the woman, if she tends to do that, women can leave as well. But it's like, let's come back later and talk about this. There's also a method where the breathing, if we can breathe in, and take a few breaths before we answer when we're triggered, it sort of calms the brain down too. So
mutual respect for each opinions on any subject is necessary for a healthy relationship. Everyone needs to feel they have been understood and heard. I mean, these are in the ideal world if you're not in a big argument of something, which there's no way even to get to the person to come. Yeah.
And we're human, we're all going to flare up sometimes, but the more we can train ourselves to, the more we heal what we get triggered by and understand what we get triggered by, the better we can listen, and the better we don't get offended so easily. So what we get triggered by, 90% of it in relationships, is coming from our past. It's coming from our childhood, and we don't even realize that. It's like you mightn't feel valued, or you mightn't be feeling heard, or you mightn't be feeling good enough, or you might be feeling put down or undermined. Now, obviously, if someone's being contemptuous to you, maybe that happened. It's not good anyway. Anyone's going to not like that. But it's like probably that's what's happened to you from mum or dad.
I agree. So it's like you carry on it's like it's not even what you're dealing with in front of you. It's what you've had to deal with in your childhood. It sits in you, and you've got all these hidden, unresolved, what do you call them? So what someone's already done to you, haven't resolved them, and you do carry them on unless you resolve them, unless you look at them and admit them.
Yes, and awareness, being aware
Yeah.
of what it is that triggers you, that when somebody does this, what happens, like how do you react? Like some people do shut down, some people leave, some people get angry, fight, flight,
Yeah. Or repeat past behaviors, or
that's
become
right.
like their parents. Exactly.
And
Yeah.
the interesting thing in relationships is when we go into them, that it's loving, it's like it feels like everything that we want, but those relationships will also bring up things that are unhealed from our childhood or memories from our past, because that's the nature of relationships. And to understand that is that relationships are actually there for us to grow actually from each other and to heal the lost parts of self. And because we all have parts of us that need to grow. And if we can see that it's just a mirror, it's a beautiful thing. That's what relationships are about. But if both people can see that, we can grow together. But we're not really taught that. And usually what happens, unless we've healed we'll never totally heal patterns. They're always going to be there in the background a bit. But we choose partners, we go out. You would have heard this before, but we unconsciously choose a partner that reminds us who's going to bring up similar patterns to our mum and dad, because we're looking for the validation or
bizarre. Isn't that
or
bizarre?
whatever that we didn't get from mum or dad or our grandma if she was bringing us up or whatever.
I mean, it's kind of creepy in a way as well, but it is really can be true. Parts, yes. And just going what you were saying before. So another one of your quotes is, "For our life to change, we must change." So you got to do the work.
And that's that thing, Rahona, about, if we feel like we're not being valued in life or we're not being heard, it's like for us to look inwards and say, this is what I had to do with myself, right?
Yeah. Same.
Because I had this story that I wasn't valued, from my childhood, because I felt criticized, all this. Unconsciously, I found this story, and then I thought, oh, I don't need anybody else until you can get to the place where you don't need anyone to value you or to understand you or whatever. It's like, where am I not? I had to look at where was I not valuing myself, and where was I not listening to myself, and where was I out of alignment with me? Where was I not loving myself? Where was I not being authentic? Where was I not valuing my mother? I'm blaming my mother, but what was it like for my mother to be with me? Right, until we can think, what is it like and then I had to go into what was it like for my husband to be with me? He loved me. He was devastated when we split up, but I had to look at like.
And it's just, look, it's really talking about myself. I do a few little TikToks here and there, and I just did a very simple one, which is exactly this. It's just all about you only really can be fully in your life when you actually stop and really get to know you, or realize who you are. I mean, of course you can still, I'm not saying you can't live in your life or anything, but I myself am coming to where you're talking about there, and it's really only taken me the last couple of years. It's taken me the last couple of years to really look at me and know me and like me, actually go, yeah, I actually like me.
Yeah, it's a beautiful journey, and to not care about what other people think about you, and to be able to speak your mind without being concerned about criticism. and or what somebody else is going to think of you. And the other thing with authenticity is the big journey is to know when
she likes my TikToks. It's brilliant.
when is the learning to say when we say no, because often we're out of alignment with ourselves because we have trouble knowing how to say no to things.
Yes.
And that can be to do with sexuality or relationships or anything really, or
I'm absolutely with you. And that's it. I won't put up with stuff that I've put up with in any human. How do I say this without saying it? So I did meet up with someone recently, potentially just to see if there was someone, and I knew instantly, wasn't interested, wasn't for me, blah blah blah. Just, and there was nothing wrong with him. It just, it was. I knew it, but he was talking all about tantric sex and everything like that, and I'm thinking, oh, could I? And I thought, no.
Yes. So we need to have boundaries and around everything really. And it's a tricky one because sometimes we have to bend our boundaries because someone needs us, or, it's juggling. And the other thing is to work out, what aren't we saying yes to?
What aren't we saying yes to?
Yes to.
Yeah.
Right? That's where we're being inauthentic too. It's like, what do we want to do in the world that we're not doing, with regard to our purpose and our dreams and our passions? What are we scared of that we're not saying yes to?
Yeah.
So we're hiding ourselves
because life is just running past, and that's it. You have to you be all of you, all of one. Yes. What are they on about? Biscuits. Anyway, don't worry about them. They're talking about biscuits. So look, I think we were going to go into many different areas, but we really are talking on, I guess, a level around people who've been in relationships, and I think that's, maybe middle to older people, more mature people, and that's a very interesting group of people, especially people who perhaps, I don't know how long ago you ended your marriage, but
a long time ago.
Oh, yeah.
Yes, a long time ago. I've had a few relationships since then.
Yeah.
There's definitely a dating and mating crisis at the moment. We're in all age groups. I've got two sons. They're married. Happily married, luckily, touch wood. But I work with younger people who are struggling. You've got guys that are struggling to find girls, and girls struggling to find a partner.
Yeah, I think that is a new thing because it's all online, and we talked about that a little bit on the phone, isn't it? Like the way they meet each other.
That's right, and I think it's been quite destructive, the dating apps to people, and the best way to meet people is to go and follow your passions. Meet people that way, like do it the old way. I mean, the dating apps can be an extra on the side, but not rely on that, because I think they're quite destructive, and people can say mean things, or anything can happen. You don't get to. It's difficult. It's a very difficult time, but I think we're going into the consciousness of the world is changing, and we need to change in relationships. We need to change in ourselves. We need to change in our sexuality and where we're really think about, like the porn is a real problem and interrupting.
Especially for young people.
Pardon?
For young people, especially.
All ages, all
Mm.
ages. And then you've got OnlyFans and all that. And it's very, very difficult for...
Well, I think with young people especially,
because they grew up with it, yes.
well, that's that and the standards. That's all that some kids, young people know, and the extremes that that is that really what guys are going to expect? I'm not talking about myself here. I'm not a young person, but just young at heart. Is that what they expect when they actually do meet someone in real life? What they know they've seen in porn stuff,
Well, what I have a lot of younger guys come to me with, they'll come with anxiety or a bit of depression or a bit lost, trying to find a girlfriend. One of the first things I'll ask them, are they watching porn? Because porn creates greater anxiety with guys. It really messes with them. And, I see guys that can't relate to girls, and they, unfortunately, porn can create erectile dysfunction too, which a lot of them, they don't realise.
Right.
And because it actually messes the dopamine in the brain. There's a lot of science on this.
Right.
I really urge people to watch. It's an older video now. I think it's called the brain... what's it called? The brain experiment on porn or something like that. But there's a lot of science now proving how dangerous it is to men and young guys. So the younger that they start watching it and the more often they watch it, the more dangerous.
So what is the danger? It's something that happens actually in their brain.
In the brain, it changes the dopamine system. Because if you think about it, before online porn, there was girly magazines and all that, but it wasn't like readily available now. Like all of us can tap a button and see nude women and sex. We can see a lot of it. So
all of us, that's right. Yes.
But back, men's evolutionary DNA is like, he's not designed to see so many women naked, and it's like the brain is not used to that. You think about back at 200 years ago, how many naked women would men have seen?
So do you think it affects them when they see someone in real life then, that it's...
Yes, because it disturbs the dopamine cycle in the brain.
Yeah.
And also it wires the brain because, having an orgasm is like taking cocaine. That's why we love sex, right? It's like having, because it takes you into this blissful feeling. So, and pornography is the most addictive thing on the internet, actually. So it's actually cocaine. It's a cocaine rush, and also it wires men to want variety. So then it becomes very hard, and women as well. Women are watching it more than they used to, but still it's predominantly more men. Therefore, it's difficult to be with one woman because you're so used to getting the thrill from something different.
Okay, so it's boring being with one.
That's right. It's very, and so the whole brain needs to be rewired, and there's 12-step programs simply for it. Gets included in sex addiction. It's tricky deciding what is addiction, but addiction is like if it's in control of you, or are you in control of it? It's not going to hurt occasionally to watch porn if you can do that. But
this is a big question. You probably haven't got time to go into that. How are you seeing the effects of the jabs on on
Oh, good
relationships?
question. Good
Or,
question.
'cause,
It's
yeah.
interesting because I wonder, I've had to be careful, obviously, talking about this in my work, but I have ventured into it. And when a man, especially an older man, suddenly is having trouble with erections, I ask him, has he had the jab? Because I suspect that could be playing havoc to some degree as well, but I can't prove that. I don't know if anyone's got any evidence on
Well, if it's
here.
amusing, perhaps as well, you could ask that.
Yes, so I suggest them to go to a holistic doctor to be tested for everything.
Just on another note on that one, regarding relationships, I know that's actually caused a lot of split in relationships, specifically, obviously, having sex within a relationship, because maybe one went for the thing and one didn't, and so they don't want to sleep together anymore.
And it's made it very difficult for single people who are unjabbed. Was hard enough before this happened, finding a compatible partner, and now this is the elephant in the space as well. And I sometimes wonder if, I can't prove this, that the earth is evolving, the consciousness is evolving, and the frequency is changing to such a degree that there's going to be a coming together of twin souls of people like us in the near future, where we'll work together and we will have relationships, and wonderful relationships. But at the moment, we're guiding people through this difficult time.
Yeah, it feels very much a time to be, like, sorry to keep butting, spoken to a lot of women at the moment, mature women especially, and they really feel like it's a time for us to be by ourselves and to be whatever, like you're talking about there, whatever the reason is, we have to be here for other people or to pass on information or whatever. Yeah, and I'm meeting a lot of people the same.
Yes.
Women.
We seem to, and there's men as well, there's a bigger purpose at the moment. We're like, and I think people on here might be feeling it too. We're being tested to be so strong and empowered in a lot of ways, because we don't know what's around the corner. That we could be the light bearers to lead people. My work might be secondary, light workers to lead people out of the dark if something really terrible goes down.
Well, things are pretty chaotic at the moment. There's a lot of rubbish going on out there, but yes, I still see light and the good.
Yes, and a lot of people are choosing celibacy to simply because they don't want to compromise their body. We don't know, and I mean, as people get older, there's this question: well, should I take a risk if they've woken up?
I know, but at the same time, see, because and they say, we've all got this junk in us now, perhaps.
Yes,
well,
that's
I don't know.
right.
Yeah, I have all the detoxy things going in all the time, but something in it still can't do it. Yeah.
Yes, because we didn't. What's the compromise of the soul, isn't it?
Yeah,
it's the same thing. It's our authenticity, and our soul has led us to where we are now, and are we prepared to compromise that? But we all deserve love, it's like, but if we can trust that maybe this is all going to come together around the corner. I don't know, my intuition's sort of believing that, but it's also to bring us back to God. Whatever, God doesn't belong to a church or whatever you want to call the consciousness.
Yes. I agree.
The
With
I
you.
am. The I am is because we're human beings, we're not human doings. So it's like who am I really, and who do I want to be every moment of the day?
Yes, and not in a big headed way. It's just actually you've been given a person and a personality with a name, but so you might as well actually live truthfully to that person. He's a virgin for 17 years. Did you? I'm sorry.
Is that a younger person there's nothing wrong with that. If like we need to learn when we're alone. It's interesting how I think Mother Nature, when you don't, when you don't masturbate a lot,
Yeah.
like Mother Nature allows your sex drive to calm down. It's excruciating to start with, but and then you can channel your sexual
And then you can
energy.
rev it back up again if you need to.
Well, you can channel that energy into projects and work or making a difference, whatever.
Yeah,
It has
that's
to be
right.
channeled. We can't suppress it.
Yeah. Look,
So
I want to just ask you just quickly because it's we've gone over the hour. That's fine, but I'm just want people to know that you've got books that you've written, and if they want to go to your website, because I think I'd love to have you back on again some point because I think this
that's
is
a
just like
huge topic. It's huge.
it's
So,
huge, and there's no way. I mean,
right,
because the Earthworm Woman's all about health, and that includes sexual health and mental health and blah blah blah. There's so much to talk about. But so I'm just going to put this out here for this is Madalena's.
this, I don't know whether you can see that's probably back to front.
Oops.
What we aren't told
Yes.
about.
No. What we aren't told about sex. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's just quickly. That's Madalena's email for people who want to go and have a look at her products, and I'm pushing. Pardon?
Beautiful.
Yeah, that's because she is a sponsor now, and there'll be like a little bit of kickback to me to keep this Earthworm Woman going. And I want to support people like her who's got her small business starting up. And so yourself, now I'm going to go to you. Is it Jane Roder at
JaneRoda.com.
Yeah. If people want to go and check her out, because she's in Melbourne, I'd love to come and have coffee with her. I'm doing tiny bit of support work because I need to earn a bit of money, and my one client is over in Kew.
Oh, beautiful. Yes, catch up. That'd be lovely. That'd be really lovely.
He's almost 96, so
my dad's 96.
Oh, really?
He's still alive, and he's still driving the car just a little way.
Oh.
He doesn't wear glasses. It's unbelievable. He lives by himself in a 3-bedroom house, garden.
My goodness.
He cooks. He can do everything.
Can you think of, does he have any sort of reason behind that? Do you think?
My dad was always self-reliant, ran 3 businesses, had time for us kids. He was fit. He helped mum in the house. He wasn't the old-fashioned man. He was very modern man.
Right. This man's very calm as well. Thank you, Andre. A very enlightening chat. This man is very calm, very easygoing, and he does a lot of things. I don't have to do. I just am there for company, really. And of course, you're an Earthworm Woman, Madalena. That's why. Yeah. No. And so for me, because my dad passed away in May, I've sort of tried to do this a little bit to get some money, but I think the secret is I look at this man, I think you're very calm and thankful, grateful.
Yes,
just thank you and things like that. There's no stress in him, it seems. It goes with the flow. You do what you have to do. If you want to go, if you need to get going, you go, So wow, that's great. If you're healthy and healthy mind and everything, there's no reason why you can live on and on. Yeah.
He had the jabs, though, my dad, unfortunately.
Oh, he did. Yeah.
Against my advice, yes.
Yeah. Well, I'm going to wrap this up now. So have a look at Jane's website, and I'd love to get you back on again, if possible. If you want to come on, obviously.
I'd love to. I feel like
Sorry, I
it's
put you on the
hard
spot
when
there.
yes, so much to cover. You can't really.
No, I mean, this is the thing, and it's just discussion. And I think the main discussion today was around the biggest sort of issues that are coming up right now, which people are finding. And I think that's all connected to many specific things that we just talked about. People actually, are they being themselves in a relationship? Are they being heard in a relationship? You know, all of that. And it's really, really important to understand if you have a relationship and it's not good or hasn't gone well, why, and not just
Yes.
blame each other. And yeah.
Yeah, what is it about me that, because the outside world mirrors us, and that's a hard one. Everything that happens is mirroring what's going on with us. It's fascinating to sit in that truth.
Okay, well, thank you very much. I'm just going to end with I'll put you down there. See you again, Jane. Bye-bye.
Okay. Bye. Thank you.
I'm just going to end with Madalena's. It's not. I'm just going to say it again. This is just something I videoed when I went to see her at the market. So it's not an ad. So don't forget to have a look for her email back there. And I'll see you all actually tomorrow night. I've got a woman on replacing what are they called? Cardi girls. I was going to say the party girls. And I've got a woman who's in Thailand who she's had a Facebook page taken down. So it's to do with babies and things like that. So I'll go and learn all about her in a bit. But thank you again, Jane.
The serums as well are really good.
I'll come to you. So with these, yes.